So to start with, we're going to kind of show you a few items you're going to need. I am wearing gloves for this repair so that I don't run the risk of touching anything I shouldn't. Helps me be grounded and make sure none of my oils or skin gets inside of the device. I also am going to make sure that I am grounded using my ESD wrist strap. I like to put it on my non-dominant hand so that I don't run the risk of anything happening. You're going to need a couple of different tools for this. I do have my Phillips tri-wing and pentalobe screwdrivers here ready to go. I have my thin curved pry tool as well as a spudger to be able to open and disconnect different items within my device. I have my Wolf K100. This helps me to open this up with some suction. I also have my heat resistant plate or heat plate or heat mat to be able to open this device up with some heat. So we're going to go ahead and start by removing our pentalobe screws. There's two at the bottom, 1 and 2. So let's go ahead and remove those. And place them on your layout. Okay. Once that is done, now we can actually heat our device. Now we're going to be heating the back of the device instead of the front for starters. This is because the back of the device is where we need to actually enter to disconnect our battery. So right here, I'm just going to lay this back down. Let's go ahead and power this off. I have my blue heat mat set to 65 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to allow this to sit here for a full 10 minutes to get the back nice and warm. So go ahead and pause this video, get your heat mat or hot plate out to heat up your device, and we'll go ahead and open this up together momentarily. All right, so now that it's been about 10 minutes and my device is nice and warm, we're going to go ahead and begin the opening process. So what I have here is my Wolf K100 once again. I'm going to go ahead and loosen up these suction cups. Slide in my device. Try to get it past all this. Okay. Suction down. If we can get this to fit. All right. Close down my suction cups. Like so. Grab my piece right here. Perfect. And now we'll start cranking some. Let me tighten this up. Just twisting this crank, trying to start lifting. Okay. Looks like we're starting to get a little bit of lifting going on right here. I'm just going to take my thin curved pry tool and insert in the seam. Like so. Switch over to my spudger to kind of come along it. Okay. There we go. Severing all the adhesive around. Coming this way. You can use a little bit of alcohol if necessary, but this seems to be coming up pretty good with just a little bit of heat. Come back this way. Looks like we did crack it right there. Let's go ahead and release. And try to get this frame out. Now this back glass should lift up. And you're going to go away from the cameras with it. So I'm just going to make sure I've got all of this severed. There we go. Starting to get to lift. Okay. We can then take this and we can pull it towards the right. So turning away from the cameras. And this is how we can get access to disconnect our battery. So I'm going to go ahead and take my thumbs device right here and prop this up. Our battery is going to be connected right underneath this shield plate, so that will go on our layout, and we can remove both of these screws. Okay, remove that shield. Once the shield is gone, I'm going to take my spudger right here and disconnect my battery. Battery is disconnected, and we're going to go ahead and discharge. So I'm going to take my power button and I'm going to hold it down for 15 seconds or 15 Mississippi. This will drain any residual electricity from my motherboard so that as I'm disconnecting and reconnecting different items, I don't run the risk of something being short-circuited on that repair. Okay, next up, we're going to go ahead and try to remove this. We have a small piece right here. We'll get this taken care of, add it to our layout. Okay. Go ahead and grab the spudger and disconnect. Once that's disconnected, we'll go ahead and move on. So now that the back is removed, we're going to go ahead and begin the process of removing our charge port. So we're going to be removing all of the items from this space holder down. So this is a 14 plus. It does not have a SIM reader in here. It just has this little space holder that has a flex on it to be able to communicate between the Taptic and the motherboard. But it's literally just a placeholder there that has those flexes on there. So we're going to need to remove it, our Taptic engine, and our loudspeaker to be able to access our charge port here. So I'm going to be drawing from my standoff screw downward. So we're going to be drawing out everything from this point down. So I've got a few things already going on here. I've gone ahead and drawn out my Taptic engine. I've also drawn out my, let me just show you. So I've drawn out my Taptic engine with the bracket there, the two screws below it, my loudspeaker down here. I am going to add two more. Oh, let me get my purple. So I have my spacer here and two more screws. Coming down here, we have a couple. 1 and 2. We also have one right here. And that should be all of the screws that we can see right now. So I'm just going to start up here at the top and begin removing, starting with my standoffs. Okay, moving on to some Phillips. And I'm just going to go through and remove all of the screws, and then we can go in and remove all the different components. Almost there. Now I need to grab my tri-wing and remove these two. Okay, now that those are removed, I can remove this little shield plate here, set it in my layout to the side. Moving forward, we do have another standoff. I'm going to use a secondary color to mark it. There we are. Grab my spudger, disconnect the flex, and remove my Taptic engine. Place it in my layout. And I can also come in and remove my loudspeaker. And this small bracket here, housing my mic as well as a pressure sensor down there. Okay. Now that that's done, we're going to go through and see what other screws we need to remove. So we do see here we have one standoff. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's a lot that we need to add to this. So I'm just going to grab another color marker. And let's get through drawing out this process. So we have one here. And we have 2 on the frame. When they're on the frame, I just draw them on the outside here. Got one right there. There. We got 2 down here. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I don't have this one on the frame. 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alrighty, move this out of my way now. and continue to move forward. Let's get this standoff right here. Okay. Grab my spudger at this point. If I can find where I set it at. All right, we'll just grab one of these little spudgers so that I can disconnect right here. And this should come right out. Set it up here. Like I said before, this is just a placeholder that helps the connectors come between. Okay. This portion right here is just a support to be able to hold up the FPC connectors. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect my charge port here. 1 and 2. Looking much better. Now let's go ahead and begin to remove the other standoff screws. Okay. Once all the standoffs are gone, I'm going to grab my Phillips. Let's get some more screws out. When you got them on the side, you're just going to want to hold it kind of upwards to fit your screwdriver in there. Moving right along. Let's get these others from the frame. Get another one down here. If we can get it. Let me grab my little tweezers to try to pull it out. Okay. Alrighty. Moving right along. We got some over here on the side. There we are. So this should now be able to come out fairly easily at this point. We may need to remove this bracket right here. May have a little bit of adhesive on it, kind of holding it down. So I'm going to grab my spudger again. To start working on getting this out. Let's get this little microphone up off of it. go. Pull that out with the adhesive. And then I'm going to put just a little alcohol down in here so we can start to remove our charge port. Okay. All the way across, getting underneath. Just like that. Let's get this microphone off the wall. You don't want to rip it. And there you go. You've got your charge port out on your iPhone 14 Plus. To reinstall our charge port on an iPhone 14 Plus. The first thing that we're going to do here is go ahead and grab our charge port and slip it in. You want to make sure everything is lined up properly where it needs to be, each in their own little homes. And then the first thing I'm going to do is put my 2 screws down here at the very bottom. These screws are the long screws that go down here alongside the charge port, and this is just going to help hold it all in. Making sure my charge port's lined up. Screw that one in right beside my charge port. There we are. So next up, what we're going to do is go ahead and take our little gasket that came off right down here. We can get it back in its little home so that we can begin to put all of our other pieces back in as well. So I'm going to be starting with my 3rd layer screws. Those are going to be all of these orange ones that I did in the previous video. Let's go ahead and start getting them within my device. So the first one is the standoff screw. Goes right up here at the top. Grab a Phillips driver. Put the one up here on the side. There we go. We can get it. We might have to kind of hold it to the side here. Okay. I'm going to place the other one down here, down below. This one goes right over here on the corner. Okay. Moving forward, we'll go ahead and get some more put in here. We're going to grab my standoff again and place a standoff on this side of my charge port, top right corner of the charge port. Once that's in, we can go ahead and do some more on the sides. Kind of hold that out of the way. Get each of these put in. There we are. Go ahead and grab some more. Grab another one that kind of goes on the frame here. These small ones can be a little bit of a pain. There we go. Grab my standoff. Okay, and we'll get this one screwed in. There we are. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab this little gasket that goes right on top here. Like that. Grab my loudspeaker as well. Feed that in. Make sure this bracket goes on top of it. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and place this back in as well. This needs to kind of go underneath my motherboard here. Slide in there. We can plug those in just to keep it all held together. Taptic engine right in here. Oop, before I put this Taptic engine in, let me go ahead and put in the screw that goes right here. So let's pull this out real quick. Grab that standoff screw. And might as well go ahead and insert the others. Right up here on my motherboard. Okay, now we'll go ahead and set this in. Goes right on top here. Plugged in, standoff screw. Alrighty, so now I can go ahead and seat in my little bracket and begin putting all of these screws back in. I'm going to start with my 2 tri-wing to get them out of the way because the rest will all be Phillips then. Got a little bit bent out of shape there. We're going to get it bent back though. Okay, I'm going to grab my Phillips and start getting these put in now. Just getting all these Phillips put back in where they go. Whoops, that's not the one. It's down here. Okay, I can grab these top ones now. And there you are. All that's left to do is go ahead and install your back glass on top of this device. Once again, that is how you replace the charge port in an iPhone 14 Plus.